Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming out today. I'm thrilled to welcome you to our community of Etobicoke North. I'm very glad to be here with the gentlemen I serve Etobicoke with, James Maloney and Yvonne Baker, and I'm delighted that we are joined today by our Deputy Prime Minister, Chrystia Freeland. And I do want to take a moment to recognize the incredible work she did during COVID-19. She was there every minute of the day, asking the right questions, and Canadians really owe her a debt of gratitude for her work. We're thrilled today to talk about job creators in our community like ABC Technologies. ABC Technologies is a leading auto parts manufacturer and a fantastic example of the many homegrown, innovative businesses that we are proud to be home to here in Etobicoke. Businesses like ABC are truly the backbone of our country's economy as providers of good, stable, middle-class jobs in our local communities. And I really want to recognize Terry and all the people of ABC for hosting us today. Thank you for showing us the great work you do here. I think we all leave inspired. Thank you, and I will now pass this over to Colin Singh Dillon.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Colin Singh Dillon. I am the Chief Technical Officer at the Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association, and absolutely delighted to be here at ABC Technologies today to be able to show the wonderful work that has been ongoing at this company for many decades. As part of the APMA, collaboration, support, and connections are key to making sure that we're able to support the auto sector. And I'd like to say a big thank you to the federal government and to the Deputy Minister, Prime Minister, that when it came to COVID, there was a need for support. And that support was echoed through the APMA, its members like the ABC Technologies company, who stepped up even before any purchase orders were actually cut to make sure they're making PPE and they were actually supporting by making ventilator parts. And so support was critical. And then I would say collaboration, and collaboration on global and North American trade negotiations and regulations. Today really isn't the beginning, but it's going to continue to highlight the efforts around NAFTA 2.0. And obviously, some of you may have heard in the press, the North American EV Act is actually going to be beneficial. Those tax credits are now going to be beneficial for us Canadians as well. And it's all about collaboration, not only with industry, but trade associations like our own, as well as the federal government. And then really the final thing I'd like to kind of highlight is Project Arrow, an initiative of building Canada's first zero-emission concept vehicle, which brings together companies like ABC Technologies. But a project like this would not be doable without the financial support. And again, the federal government through FedDev have provided $5 million towards this project, which is really a lighthouse project started in December of 2019, before the big announcements of EVs, to make sure Canada was heading in the right direction. So really, collaboration, support, and innovation is what it's all about. And I think we have this dream team here, and I'm delighted to be here. And also to introduce our next speaker, Terry Campbell, who is the Chief Operating Officer of ABC Technologies. Thank you.
Thank you, Colin, for the introduction. It's always very special when we have the opportunity to host our partners at the federal and provincial levels of government. At ABC Technologies, we've been very fortunate to host Prime Minister Trudeau, Ontario Premier Ford, and today we are pleased to welcome the Honourable Chrystia Freeland, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. I can tell you, Mr. Trudeau, Mr. Ford, and Ms. Freeland are strong advocates for the Ontario auto industry and true partners in every sense of the word. It takes great partners to create a great partnership, and we are very appreciative of the support the auto sector has received from the federal and provincial government's leadership, as well through the Auto Parts Manufacturing Association. The past few years have been very challenging. However, we're very proud of what we have overcome and the resilience of our teammates, our supply chain, and our customers. Before I turn things over to our honored guest, I want to take this opportunity to highlight some of the great things happening here at ABC Technologies. As the auto industry continues to ramp up battery electric and hybrid electric vehicle production, ABC Technologies is one of the suppliers leading the charge. ABC has long championed and led the automotive parts industry in both innovation and lightweighting efforts. One thing of particular importance to EV technology is the continued testing and validation of environmentally sustainable materials such as post-consumer recycled plastic resins, as well as bio-based composite materials. Our customers are manufacturing more purpose-built electric cars versus electrifying an existing internal combustion engine, allowing our teams to reimagine what is possible for the interior space and exterior of the vehicle. We're developing new, novel cargo storage areas as frunks, spaces that were formerly occupied by the internal combustion engine. There are also new opportunities for roomier and redesigned cabins with the elimination of several internal combustion engine necessities, such as drive shafts running down the center of the vehicle, allowing for new and innovative center consoles. At ABC, we are designing and manufacturing surge tanks for battery electric vehicle that house the coolant for battery. With our recent acquisition of a US-based DLH Bowles, a Tier 1 supplier of integrated fluid distribution systems, we are now developing innovative coolant lines for battery electric vehicles. And in the future, through this affiliation, we will be providing a fully integrated fluid distribution system for the EV platforms here in Canada. And finally, I'd like to recognize Project Aero. The Automotive Parts Manufacturing Association led Project Aero is an all-Canadian effort to develop a new zero-emissions vehicle concept. The vehicle is the industry's first all-Canadian concept vehicle, and ABC Technologies is proud to be one of the Canadian suppliers and partner of this initiative. We look forward to sharing what we have contributed to this amazing effort. Thank you for the opportunity to speak here today. And without further ado, I am privileged to present the Honorable Chrystia Freeland, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm also not quite as tall as Terry, so I need a little boost there. Okay, well, thank you very much, Terry, for that really, really warm introduction. And thanks, everyone who works here, for the time you spent with me today, for the tour, and first and foremost, for your amazing hard work. I really feel inspired by the people I've met today, by the work I've seen today, by the teamwork I've seen today. And I just want to start by saying to some of the ABC workers who are here, and tell your friends I said it too, thank you so, so much. You are the heart of the Canadian auto sector. You're the heart of the Canadian economy. You're the heart of Canada. Thanks a lot. Okay. Nous reconnaissons que la terre sur laquelle nous nous réunissons est le territoire traditionnel de nombreuses nations, notamment les Mississauga du Crédit, les Anishinaabeg, les Chippewa, les Haudenosaunee et les Wendat, et habitent maintenant de nombreux peuples diversifiés des Premières Nations, des Inuits et des Métis. And I am so happy to be here today with Team Etobicoke and my Etobicoke friends and colleagues, Kirsty Duncan, in whose riding we are today, Yvonne Baker, and James, or we call him Jamie Maloney. And of course, as I've said, the amazing people here at ABC Technologies. It really has been exciting and inspiring to see firsthand the innovative, amazing work that is being done here. As one of the world's leading manufacturers of components for electric vehicles, ABC is exactly the kind of business, and the people who work here are exactly the kind of team we need to continue growing Canada's world-class auto industry and our economy overall. Our government believes in the car sector. We believe in the people who work in the car sector, and we are always going to stand up for you. And our commitment, our hard work paid off just this past Sunday when the US Senate passed the Inflation Reduction Act. That landmark legislation includes tax credits for electric vehicles assembled in North America. That means Canada. And that will directly support companies like ABC Technologies. But you know what? That was not always the plan. The original legislation excluded vehicles made in Canada, and it would have dealt a major blow to our auto sector, one which has been deeply integrated with the US for over 50 years. So, over the past more than a year, our entire government, working very closely with labor, with business organizations, has been working very, very hard and advocating very, very fiercely for the inclusion of Canadian workers and the Canadian car manufacturing sector in this US legislation. We worked as Team Canada, just the way we did during the NAFTA negotiations. And we were polite, but we were also clear. And we were clear that Canada would stand up for our national interest if a discriminatory US tax credit were to go ahead. We were clear that we would have imposed retaliatory tariffs in that event. Fortunately, that didn't happen, and our hard work paid off. Canadian workers and Canadian-made electric vehicles are now included in this landmark legislation. That means that as the auto industry grows and innovates, it will continue to be a source of good middle-class jobs for Canadians. And, you know, that's why this issue was so important for us. That's why we were so focused on those EV tax credits. Because we care about the jobs of today in Canada, and we care about the jobs of the future. And we know that Canada's auto manufacturing industry has, for many decades now, been an engine of good middle-class jobs, like the ones that people here do so excellently. And that's why for our government, protecting NAFTA and Canada's trading relationship with the United States was so important. And I do want to thank everyone who is here for their personal collaboration in that Team Canada effort, which continues to support the jobs here. The Inflation Reduction Act is a major economic win for Canada's auto manufacturing industry. And as automakers urgently retool their assembly lines to build electric vehicles, our government is going to make it more affordable for Canadians to buy them. Nous construirons les batteries qui alimentent les voitures et les camions électriques, et nous investirons dans la construction de bornes de recharge d'un bout à l'autre du pays. In concrete terms, this means that a few years from now, Canadians across the country will be driving electric vehicles made here in Ontario. Ces véhicules seront fabriqués avec de l'aluminium, de l'acier et des minéraux critiques canadiens. Ils seront alimentés par des batteries fabriquées au Canada et nous les chargerons avec des stations de recharge fabriquées au Canada. Crucially, what this means is good, well-paying, secure, middle-class Canadian jobs today and for many, many years to come. And so, to the workers and businesses at the heart of Canada's and Ontario's auto and auto parts industries, I want to promise you this. We will always stand up for you and your families, because we know that every single day you contribute to the well-being and the prosperity of communities across Ontario and across Canada. What matters most is that you are able to keep our economy going and create the good middle-class jobs Canada needs today and in the future. And I just want to conclude by paying a final tribute to the people who work here at ABC Technologies. One of the things that I heard today, and I hear this at manufacturing companies across Canada, is that Canadian workers are one of our country's most powerful competitive advantages. Canadian workers are smart, they're resourceful, they're hardworking, they're reliable, they're well-educated, they work as a team. That is true of the really inspiring people I met here at ABC Technologies. It is one of our key strengths as a country. And so I want to say to everyone here, I'm so grateful to you. I respect you so, so much. And let's keep on working together. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer your questions. And there's quite a lot of background noise, so if people could speak up.
Yep. Hi, Minister Freeland. Megan McLeister with CBC News. If you could answer this first question in French and English, please. Canada has said that the Gatineau Police Service's alleged beating of a Senegalese diplomat last week was, quote, totally unacceptable. What was unacceptable? Has Canada apologized to Senegal? And how will Ottawa ensure diplomatic immunity is respected in this country?
Okay, well, thank you very much for the question. And let me start by reiterating that any instance of brutality, of police brutality towards anyone in our country, whether they are a Canadian or a visitor or a diplomat, is of course entirely unacceptable. That's something our government is clear on. And I want to assure all Canadians and all diplomats who are here that we're very, very clear on that. Alors, je veux commencer en disant que, évidemment, les actes de brutalité contre les gens, s'ils sont les citoyens du Canada, s'ils sont des visiteurs de l'étranger ou des diplomates, en tous les cas, ces actes sont inacceptables. C'est la position claire de notre gouvernement. Et je veux rassurer les Canadiens, les visiteurs, les diplomates que notre gouvernement va faire le suivi.
Thank you. And looking south, are you surprised to learn former President Donald Trump's residence was raided? Do you think he'll be charged? And based on what's come to light from the January 6th hearings, do you think Trump should be allowed to be president again?
You know, being here today, I have been talking a lot about our experience during the NAFTA negotiations and reflecting a lot on that experience. And, you know, reflecting with some appropriately quiet but confident Canadian pride. We got through a hard time, and we got through it with a win for Canada, a win which is being reinforced by the Inflation Reduction Act. One of my principles during the NAFTA negotiations was that it was my job to comment on and talk about Canadian issues and affairs and I would leave it to the Americans to talk about their own politics. And I think I'm going to continue to follow that rule today.
From Omni TV. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh recently vowed to walk away from the confidence and supply agreements if a dental care program could not be reached by the end of 2022. What's your response to Mr. Singh, in addition to speculation that your government is planning to deliver temporary solutions to maintain the agreement?
Yeah, thank you for the question. When it comes to dental care, we made a clear commitment in the budget to provide dental care for children under 12 in families earning $90,000 or less, to provide dental care to those children this year. That was a commitment I was glad to make. I think that it is very consistent with the values of Canadians. Kids should not have their teeth get rotten just because their parents don't have enough money to pay for them to go see a dentist. I think it's as simple as that. And so we set aside money in the budget to pay for that. Now, as we experienced, for example, in rolling out childcare agreements across the country, delivering new services to Canadians is complicated, and I think Canadians understand that. We are working very, very hard on dental care. Providing dental care to children and families earning less than $90,000 a year to children under 12 was a clear commitment we made in the budget. It's a commitment we made in our agreement, in our confidence and supply agreement with the NDP. We're working hard to deliver that.
On behalf of Cormac McSweeney from City, Ottawa, given the committee hearings about the RCMP's use of spyware, is the government considering banning the sale or use of spyware by the general public, or placing further limits on how police can use this technology?
Thank you for the question. It is an important issue. And I know that my colleague, Marco Mendicino, has already commented on it and has committed to continue to work on it and look into it.
Hi, my name is Chrystia Freeland from Parvasi Media. And my question is, the supply chain disruption in the automotive sector, and what are your plans to help the automotive sector with the supply chain disruption? And the second most important, about the shortage of chips.
Okay, well, thank you for the question. And that is one of the issues that we discussed here at ABC Technologies today. Before I became a politician, I was a reporter. And one of the things that I learned as a reporter is it's great to talk to academics and experts, but there is no replacement for actually talking to the people who are doing the job if you want to understand how something is working. And so one of the reasons I was here today was to really understand what is happening to the Canadian economy, and specifically what is happening to the supply chain. And we had some good conversations about it. I think Terry won't mind my saying that what I learned today, and what I've been hearing in other businesses across the country, I've been doing quite a bit of touring this summer, is supply chain snarls have posed real difficulties as the global economy has reopened post-COVID. But gradually, those supply chain challenges are being resolved. The second thing that I heard, and again, this is consistently something I have been hearing across the country, is here in Canada, businesses and workers have been doing an outstanding job at getting back to work. And when I talk to businesses, including this one across the country, the biggest supply chain challenges they are facing are not from the Canadian supply chain. They are from outside Canada. So I do want to say to Canadians, well done.
Thank you. Thank you. No, thank you so much.
Can we ask you about
Okay.
Hockey Canada?
Sorry?
Can we ask one thing about Hockey Canada?
I think we're tied up for time. Thanks.
Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone, for being here today. And again, thank you very much to the people who work here at ABC Technologies. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your enthusiasm. Thank you for explaining to me your jobs. And above all, thank you for the work you do that supports your families and supports our whole community and our country. I really, really respect your hard work. I really admire you. I'm really inspired by what I saw here today. Thanks a lot.